Hey everybody, welcome back to Is It a Buy, where we talk about stocks and try to determine if they are worth the buy or maybe a pass. My name is Corey. I just like to preface the video by saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about stocks, so please take what I say with a grain of salt, all right? Let's get into the video. This video is actually a small DD. One of the people in our Discord chat actually recommended it to me, and I really liked just everything about it. And this is something I had been thinking about for a while. So thank you so much for sharing the DD. If you guys want to see me make a video about specific DD or anything, I will be more than happy to do that. Basically, they just sent me an article and I went ahead and just did a huge deep dive into the whole thing. Okay, so let's get into it. Today, we are talking about the chip shortage. Okay, and how we can capitalize from this. This is the kind of thought process that makes good investors, okay? This is what you want to be looking for. You want to look for these opportunities, and this one is a bit of a slower opportunity, I would say, but there's a lot of upside to be had. Okay, let's dive just straight into it. Taking a look here. So obviously there's a chip shortage, okay? So just computer chips, pretty simple, all right? And so now there's the huge question is, why is there a chip shortage? Okay, I do have a few notes here that I'll be referencing, but basically one of there's a few different speculations. No two people can really agree on the answer, so just take that for what that is. But I mean, we can think about this logically, right? Think about COVID. So there's logistic issues. People aren't able to, factories were shut down. People weren't able to like really travel. They were told to stay at home. Just a bunch of different stuff, right? And so a lot of companies also, they were like, oh snap, the economy is shut down, the whole nation is shut down, what are we going to do? And so a lot of them actually cut a lot of their orders that they had for these chips and stopped it. So that's another reason that there's a chip shortage. There was just a few compounding things, okay? And so they didn't want to have a surplus of supplies and no one was going to be ordering it, then they're sitting with all this inventory, okay? And so joke's kind of on them, because what happened was these people were working from home, and a lot of people, whether they took advantage of, they were like, oh, I always wanted a gaming computer, or they just wanted a regular computer. They built their own computer, they bought computers from online or whatever happened. And that's what happened. It's just insane. And so basically, the another thing that happened is, we think about cars, right? Cars have computer chips in them as well, and people, again, this is the same thing. People now, they didn't want to ride the bus. They don't want to take the bus because there's a huge pandemic. They don't want to be around people. So the used car market started to go up. And so what did people start doing? So now there's a demand for used cars because they're running out of supply. So what do people do? Now they're like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of over my used car. I could get top dollar for it right now. Interest rates are low and I could buy a new car. And then it kind of just trickles. So there's always opportunities in any kind of market. And I think it's important to keep an eye out for those opportunities. All right. So I guess a little bit of a lesson there. And so those are some different things of why there could be that computer chip shortage. And so you can see that there are people here that are struggling. These are some companies, Volkswagen, Toyota, just struggling, NIO. And here's a recommendation from this website, Investor Place, of TSM. Okay, and so we'll go into a few recommendations and we'll go from there. Additionally, they said TSMC is another big one. And here you can see, so what happened, and this is kind of what we already addressed, how everyone wanted computer chips. They had the highest growth that they've ever had in 10 years for these computer chips. Okay, and as we can see here, the US PC market had another strong quarter, registering 20.6% growth year over year. It's just booming right now, and it's continuing to boom. And it's kind of snowballing. So what are we going to do about it? Well, Biden decided he's going to press for a $37 billion kind of bill, or billion in funding, I suppose I should say, for these chips. Okay, he signed an executive order to address this, and that's what he's gonna try and do. And so we can see this here. So what are people gonna do? People are gonna increase their they're going to build new plants. They're going to increase their supply, and this is how they're going to do it. And we can see here, Intel, is spending 20 billion to build 2 new chip plants in Arizona. All right, and this is brand new, March 23rd, and these are how people are going to take advantage of this. Let's take a look at another. TSMC is spending 35 billion to in an Arizona chip factory as well. I mean, guys, these guys are just going to continue to grow. Now, well, let me go to this one, and we can see Samsung also considers Austin for its $17 billion chip plant. Okay, and they're looking for tax breaks. So these guys are gonna, everyone kind of wins. And now here's the thing. This play is a mid to long term play, because this facility, for example, for TSMC, is slated to begin operations in 2024. Okay. But this is one of those beat the hype type plays that that I always talk about. You got to get in before it really booms. And, I think you do have a little bit of time before it really booms, unless Biden's, I saw here that he had a 100-day, was it in this one? Yeah, well, in one of these, it said that he basically had a 100-day push for it. And so he's trying to really push for this bill. And so we might see a little spike whenever that does push. And so just be on the lookout for that one, okay? But yeah, this is a longer play. It's going to take some time for these guys to create these facilities and have them operational and stuff. But it is still a great play in my opinion. Okay, so this is the article that was sent to me and I basically created this whole video just from this one article because I really wanted to dive deep into it, because I thought it was some great points, or a great thought at least, that I really dove into. And we can see here, and these are just recommendations. So 7 semiconductor stocks to gain from the chip shortage of 2021, and it goes over a few of them. So here, this one is TSM. I'll just go through them really quickly. So it was TSM, TXN, TER, ASML, LRCX, RNCEY, this one's OTC, and AMAT. And there were a few different recommendations. If you want to choose one of these, like Intel or TSMC, we can see that there are some benefits to those, okay? And, if you wanted to go one further, you could even look into the parts. If there's a specific metal that's in these parts, and there's a miner that is going to be selling it to all the chip people, that could go one further, or if there's specific parts or plastics that goes in these chips. Those are the kinds of things that I always like those plays where you can just get in, instead of just going with Intel, you can go with the person selling the materials to Intel, AMD, all these people. Okay, and that's where the good plays can be. If you have any recommendations for stock or people who create the parts or anything like that, raw materials, let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you have an idea for another video, let me know in the comments as well. And that's it. That's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. If you did like it, please consider subscribing. I'm doing my best to bring you guys this DD and just all these videos on stocks and stuff. Just trying to keep it as up to date as possible. All right. Thank you so much for the continued support. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, that helps me a lot with that YouTube algorithm, getting the video seen, and just helping me really grow this channel. All right. Thank you again so much for taking the time to watch the video. I appreciate all of you. Have a good one. Peace.